Okay. Good morning. Let me first apologize to friends and comrades who are connecting from all over the world because they have been online from 10 to 7. So we have already lost over an hour. And my sincerest apologies to the program director that I'm not hijacking the program, but if possible, I would say that since this service and its recordings are for posterity to benefit Princess's children and future grandchildren, I would say, yes, we have lost an hour, but perhaps we could catch up by allowing people to speak as much as possible about Princess instead of dedicating the time to singing, more especially that we are very few in this ceremony due to COVID-19 safety protocols, and most of us are vocally wounded. Yes, we can sing, but most of us can say brilliant things about Princess. I had prepared a speech. I've cut it in lieu of the fact that we have lost an hour already. So I'm just going to say read through a few paragraphs, and we have two of Princess's dearest friend, Dr. Bami Adeoyo, who is a Nigerian national based in the US, who will take a second from the time that was originally allocated to me. And we also have Comrade Reniva Fori, who is on diplomatic posting with her husband in Syria, who have also connected. And I would say that perhaps we should also steal 1 second from my time for her to say bye-bye, because she was Princess's dearest friend. Dr. Adeoyo in the US was introduced to me by Princess, and as we speak today, he is one of my editorial advisors. May I also request everyone to mute themselves because we do hear them. My tribute is titled "A Beautiful, Soft Soul, and Yet Tenacious and Resilient Person." A tribute to Princess Masilo. I'm going to open with a poem by Maya Angelou, and this is directed at Resejo, as she is one of the 3 youngest members of the National Writers Association of South Africa, which I happen to be a National Executive Committee member. The poem is titled "When Great Trees Fall." It reads, "When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes see with a hateful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised hawks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nature, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. Yes, this contrasts with the views of that English poet, John Donne, in his poem titled "Death Be Not Proud." Although he challenged death to undervalue its pride, Trust me, I don't completely concur with him. I give it to that it's extremely competent in dishing out double brutal doses of the destruction of lives of those passing on and those surviving the deceased. First is the life it extracts out of someone else's body, and we have to inter their mortal remains. As they pass on, they are saved from the excruciating pain as their soul departs into the heavens, which is often described as untimely, though I fail to see any logic in such characterization, because as far as I'm concerned, it will never be timely. I met Princess in the early 2000s when I worked for the then Department of Trade and Industry in Pretoria. I was the Chief Director of Marketing Communications. We positioned the DTI brand as a humble servant of the people, and we abolished any signs of pomposity often associated with the public service. Just on the morning of Tuesday, I was woken up by Resego, a 15-year-old daughter, crying hysterically, saying, "Uncle Saul, I don't have anybody else to call. I only have your numbers. I'm so sorry." When I asked why she was crying, she responded, "My mother isn't breathing. We don't know what to do." I asked them to call an ambulance. 30 minutes later, I called again, and Lehlogonolo took the phone from Resego and broke the sad news. The hospital says my mom has passed on. After I met Princess in 2001, she presented an excellent entrepreneurship development program. The DTI bought into it, and that launched her from being a small company in a small dorpy of Kimberley to a national entity, as she soon traveled from one provincial capital to another, conducting seminars funded by the DTI. I then struck a special friendship with Princess. After she relocated to Pretoria, Princess became my dearest sister. I could share all the intricacies of life with, particularly the challenges of adulting, both professionally and socially. She was the one person I could open my heart out. When love hurt, I could call on her and cry the pain out. Princess' religious entrepreneurial journeys are symbolic of the paradoxes of life. While through Princess, I found solace in religion, whilst I was in hospital, her faith was later destroyed her. People may remember the fake resurrection scene by one charismatic preacher that destroyed Princess, and she withdrew completely from the church. On the business front, while it was government that supported her into being an entrepreneur with a national footprint she became, it was the same government that bankrupted her business when some municipality withheld her payment that went into millions. Although her political conscience prohibited her from embarrassing government in the media by reporting the story to journalists, as others often do, or maybe even taking legal action, she tried to pursue a recourse through the Office of the Public Protector, which unfortunately also failed her. Her file is still gathering dust in their to-do list. So Princess's business never fully recovered from this betrayal or injustice she suffered at the hands of government officials. A resilient and tenacious fighter she was, she then completely withdrew from trying to secure business from government and entered the cosmetic industry by establishing her own company, Simply African International. And this grew to even open a small manufacturing plant and running a stall at the Merlin Main, a top shopping mall in Pretoria East. She continued with her engagements with the Innovation Hub in Pretoria that was considering incubating her business. In brand positioning her brand, Princess stepped into the contemporary street culture and adapted the words cool into cool, as in KWL. It speaks to the simplicity of life without being too simplistic. It speaks to one's peaceful state of mind because she was always peaceful. It speaks to harmony in interpersonal relationships because she loved everyone. The symbolism was linked to the name she had given to her company, Simply African International. The company aimed to tap into the global market beyond serving the 1.67 billion consumers in Africa as the continent continues to integrate into one free trade area through the implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Through her company, Princess joined emerging Black entrepreneurs who wanted to disrupt the cosmetic industry, which is dominated by foreign brands such as Avon for the lower LSMs and luxury brands by European and American manufacturers such as Armani and Gucci. Although Princess received offers from potential investors who wanted to buy stakes in her company, she turned them all down because she wanted to build this company into a national brand to increase happened to her, the company would still be fully owned by her children. Indeed, it is up to the children, as Daphne has indicated, to decide that they honor the legacy of their mother by continuing maintaining this company. Heartfelt condolences to the children and the Masilo family. She was a complete embodiment of God's mercy to humanity. She was full of energy and chutzpah. She was a gentle soul. Good night, my sister. Yes, death, you have dealt us a heavy blow by stealing Princess from us. I love you and I'll always love you. Thank you. So I'm now going to ask Doctor in the US to say a few words and Reneva in Syria also to say her goodbye to Princess.
Shall I start? Oh.
Yes, go on, Reneva. Doctor will come after you.
Okay, can you hear me?
I see the doctor's ready, so maybe you can proceed.
Okay. Yes, continue, Doc.
Okay.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Bamdele Adeoye. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia. It's roughly 2:34 here. I met Princess through a friend from South Africa in 2010 here in Atlanta. And she connected me to South Africa. We spoke. It was very interesting in the fact that in 5 minutes of talking, she gravitated to what I really like, which is business. And it was just amazing. You know, her level, her drive, her tenacity, and her creativity. And in 1 week of talking, we became friends. And then we talked for a very long time, sharing her things, you know, her life story with me. And during the process, I think Rosiego was maybe 4 years old. And for some reason, I have this instinct. And I told her, I said, you know what? Your little girl, I will start calling her Madam President. And I really meant it. And I meant it in the sense that I told her, your little girl is going to be the first female president in South Africa. Anyway, I was very shocked when I sent some publication to Paul a few days ago, actually about 3 days ago, what happened, I still can't believe it. That's why I'm up till now trying to make sure it's real. But she was just an amazing, amazing woman, very elegant, poised. I mean, her creativity is beyond. Even in the midst of chaos, she always comes up with something that blows my mind. I mean, I'm in the US and, you know, the way we do things, but she always does things that are just exciting, you know, great. And the little girl, and I remember maybe a few years, last year, I believe, last year, she was telling me about the son coming to school in America to see what I can do, but, you know, she didn't go further. So it is a great miss for South Africa. It just, I mean, you in South Africa, you miss a great, great woman. I mean, she's just creative. I wish we have many of those in South Africa that can uplift Africa. And she has that drive. And one thing I want to say to the family, unfortunately, I never came to visit you guys, but I will forever remember her. I will forever remember her elegance, her style, her creativity, you know, the way she looks at the world, her children, you know, everything. She was an uplifting person. You know, we spoke for almost 11 years. She introduced me to Paul. And from then on, Paul and I would just click and swear. She has that gift of connecting people. She just has the gift. And when I say the gift, she sees the good in you and she sees the good in the other person, and she's able to connect both of you together. She just have that gift. And so the family, and I will end with this. Princess, I will forever, I don't even know how to say that. I still don't believe it. I'm in shock. However, my condolences to the kids, the 4 kids. Particularly, I'm familiar with the younger one, Rosego. And I'm so impressed with her too, because now she is taking a mantle of being a dog lover, which, you know, I received some of her email and things like that. Princess, it was a pleasure meeting you for the 10, 11 years we spoke. I know we have time difference in South Africa and Atlanta, Georgia. It was a gift meeting you. And do take good night and take your long rest. May God bless the children. And South Africa, you lost a great child. You lost a great daughter, a mother, and a creative person. You know, I'm more for the African aspects, and Paul says some few things. You know, she was part of the people I had in mind that will uplift Africa, hiring people, creating, you know, things for Africa and all that. And may God bless all the children. And I hope the little girl will take and continue where the mom stops. You know, I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. I'm still in shock. I still don't believe it. That's why I still stayed up till late to say it if it's for real. I mean, may God bless the children, and may God bless, you know, all the families, everybody that showed up. And please, 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 the children needs guidance. Paul, Saul, please, whatever I can do from here, my doors are open. You know, whatever I can do to help, my doors are open. But we need to guide the children. She's gone, but we have to be here for them. And what time is it? Good morning out there in South Africa. May God bless.
Reniva Fori.
So I won't put on the video because of the bandwidth. Good morning, everyone. Indeed, it is unreal, and it's difficult to accept that Princess is no longer with us. I posted a message to her, conveying my condolences when Shona died, and I was surprised that she didn't respond, only to hear that she had passed on the same day. So thank you, Saul, for a really wonderful tribute. And thank you for allowing me to say goodbye to a truly wonderful person. I would have preferred to be in Warrington today. And so I'm appreciative of technology that enables me to join you from Damascus here in Syria. I met Princess about 20 years ago, and I was immediately attracted to her vibrant and bubbly personality, her remarkable intelligence, her dedication to excellence, her commitment to entrepreneurship, and her remarkable strength. I just found it so inspiring. Unfortunately, particularly in South Africa, the sphere of entrepreneurship is not easy, especially for a beautiful woman. And Saul, you've outlined the challenges that she experienced, and it is deeply unfortunate. But Princess believed firmly that creating jobs for others was an important way to build South Africa and also the continent. She boldly confronted all the obstacles that were placed in the way, and she worked night and day so that she could take care of her family and those whom she intermittently employed. Despite being hardworking, she also made time for her friends. And I was one of the friends that truly benefited from her generosity. She was at my side during really trying times. And if she couldn't be there physically, she tried to support me through using technology, whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook. And she was such a warm and positive person, truly beautiful inside and out. And we had a lot of fun together. She certainly got me to do a few crazy things, which really contributed to enriching my life. And the last time we were together physically, it was at a private launch of my husband's book. And even there, we had a lot of fun with Resego taking photos of us while we were posing, pretending to be models. Yes, so it is a very sad moment because Princess was a good friend and she was also a very good comrade. On behalf of the South African Communist Party, and then on behalf of Ambassador Guild and myself, I want to convey my really sincere condolences to the family and especially the children. I wish you strength and courage during this very difficult time. Ambakakli, my beautiful friend.